Hey, gang, Scoob and Shag here, and you've got it on the barn. All right, Scoob? Yeah, the barn. Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We got some work to do now. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We need some help from you now. Come on, Scooby-Doo, I see you, pretending you got a sliver. You're not fooling me, 'cause I can see the way you shake and shiver. You know we got a mystery to solve, so Scooby-Doo, be ready for your act. Don't hold back.
Hi, and welcome to The Barn, live from Southeast Missouri. You got the Mox here, and I'm joined with a special guest online right now. We have voice actor, man of many voices and characters, Scott Ennis. Scott, how are you?
Man, what's going on, guys?
You're coming into town this weekend, January 14th. You'll be at the Machinist Hall in St. Louis, Missouri, 12365 St. Charles Rock Road, and for your Comic-Con.
Yeah, they're doing a big toy fair out there. You know, it's called the ToyMan, I believe. And they've been doing this thing for like 34 years. And, you know, it's like a lot of people say, you know, well, why aren't you making this a 2-day event? Well, you don't need to. If it's not broke, don't fix it. They do this, you know, on Sunday, this Sunday, and like it's right where you said it is. And then we're going to, you know, we'll set up Saturday night, be ready to go Sunday morning. I think they have the early bird from 8 o'clock. I think it's like $5 to get in or $15, something like that. But folks can go to the Facebook at the ToyMan and look it up. But we're going to be there from basically 8 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon, give or take. And we'll sign autographs. We're bringing pops. We're bringing plushes, T-shirts, anything under the sun. We have got it compiled. You know, finding Scooby stuff is not the easiest. And we have compiled it all into one booth. And I've got it right there at my booth. We call it Get Your Ruh-roh Gear right here. And we're excited about it. It's going to be a fun time, get to meet everybody. And then, of course, you know, we got a lot of wrestling fans in St. Louis. You know, for years, the Kiel Auditorium, you know, back in the late 70s and 80s was always jamming with the biggest names in wrestling. And yours truly is the ring announcer in the new Iron Claw motion picture with Zac Efron and all of them, and Jeremy Allen White. And so we'll be signing Iron Claw posters for folks. We've got those. And we're just excited. I love St. Louis. I'm a Missouri boy. You know, my son is Josh Ennis, and he does afternoons on KC 95.
There you go, right there.
Yeah. So, you know, a little chip off the old block, so to speak.
You do radio as well. Is that something that you're still involved in, your radio show?
Oh, yeah. I do a morning show every morning for Cumulus Radio down here in Baton Rouge. You know, I work for Classic Hits 103.3, and we do a show called Ennis in the Morning. And a lot of fun. I've been in radio all my life. It's how that led to being Scooby-Doo. And, you know, just a lot of fun. You know, we love to get out and there's, you know, Scooby-Doo is worldwide. You know, it's one of the most popular characters of all time. You know, it's just people come by the droves. I mean, it's like it touches every genre, every single age can relate to Scooby-Doo. And it's fun.
Yeah, and I would say one of my favorites that you were on is actually more of an adult version from the Cartoon Network, Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, where Shaggy gets busted. You were part of that episode, right?
Yeah, I was. And you know what's funny about that is I actually bring the poster for that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we've actually got the poster for that. And a lot of people ask for that. You know, they're like, man, you got the Harvey Birdman poster? And so we actually had to go get it. So we found it, searched it down, and got it. So we signed those as well. So
we will definitely be there then, January 14th in Bridgeton, Missouri, at the ToyMan show. Looking forward to that. Been to one of those before. They just do a great job there. And I know obviously you hit a lot of Comic Cons, you hit a lot of cartoon cons. Is that important to you to interact with the fans and
Absolutely.
Get to speak with them and sign autographs and whatever else it is?
Absolutely. It's a great one-on-one. You know, anytime you can get out there and see the fans and listen to their stories on how this dog touched their life, you know, it's just it's a warm and fuzzy. And it warms my heart to hear the stories of, you know, young kids even that are telling you that, you know, their family passed it on in the generation, you know, and or you're listening to the older folks talk about how they watch it now with their kids. And you know, it's the longest running cartoon in the history of cartoons. It's never gone off the air. and since 1969. So, Scooby represents the coward in all of us, and that's why we all relate to it, because everybody has their selling point. It's like, well, it's not for sale. Well, yeah, everything's got a price. So, when a lot of people say, you want to go do that? No, I'm not going to do that. Well, what if I threw it a couple of bucks? No, I'm not going to do that. How about if I paid for your airfare to California with me? Would you go? Well, okay, maybe so. So, see, everybody's got their their breaking point. And for Scooby and Shaggy, it just happens to be food, man, lots of food. Yeah, lots of food. Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Love that. You mentioned radio got you into voice acting. How did that transition happen going from one to the other? Obviously, you're using your voice as part of your career and your passion, but how did that transition occur?
Well, I've been doing radio all my life. So I was working at WYNK, a country station in Baton Rouge back in 1997. And Alabama, the country group, Alabama had a hit at the time, and it was called Shaggin' on the Boulevard. And I went and made a parody out of it and called it Shaggy on the Boulevard. And one thing led to another, and a guy kept hacking me, kept calling me, saying, man, I tell you what, you should call Hanna-Barbera and play them that. I'm thinking, yeah, that's the last thing I want to do. I want to get sued by Hanna-Barbera. Yeah. But, but anyway, after it ran its course and I felt that it was already kind of ran its deal, I went ahead and called them. And lo and behold, it was the last day that they were casting for a new Scooby. So I perked their ears up and I ended up going auditioning. I became one of there was 500 people trying to get that job. And it got down to me and Dave Coulier from Full House.
Interesting. Wow.
And cut it out, Uncle Joey. Yeah. And so once it got down to me and him, they still couldn't pick up their mind, and they brought Bill Hanna in, and Bill Hanna listened to him, and he didn't know who was who. And he just said, well, that guy's got the laugh down to a T. That's Don Messick's laugh. And so, it's like, call Scott. I guess he's coming to L.A. to do Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. And that's what we did. That was the first movie, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island.
Speaking of radio, everybody knows Howard Stern, of course, is in the business. But were you voicing Baba Looey whenever Baba Booey got his name?
No, I wasn't. But I'll tell you a funny story. One of the guys that was on Howard Stern, I think it's Baba. It may have been Baba Looey or whatever his name is. He had a book out. I know that he put a book out, or one of them. I forget what the character was on Howard Stern, but I ended up doing they called me, Stern's people called me and asked me if I would do a fake Casey Case. I'm like, a listener writes, Dear Casey, moving up 5 notches this week is the #1 book in the country. So right, I ended up doing that for him. But Baba Looey, that goes way before, that's the early 70s, way before Howard Stern even thought about, radio.
And you mentioned some of the old guys and the original voices. How important is it to you to, honor that legacy of the character and with the voice? You try to replicate their voice, or how do you go about that process? No,
you have to. And that's the whole deal. My motto is this: if you're not dead on, you don't get the job. These guys worked very hard to to create the character that they did. That's my biggest pet peeve with the industry today. We cave to money. It's like, wait a minute, Jack Nicholson wants to voice Shaggy? Oh, that's great, man. I can hear it now. Hey, man, zoinks, let's go solve a mystery, Scoob. And they'll run with it. It's like, there's no integrity, in this business anymore of, Disney's pretty good about it. Jim Cummings does the voice of Winnie the Pooh. Paul Winchell was the original voice of Tigger and Winnie the Pooh. And Sterling Holloway was the voice of Pooh, and then Paul Winchell did Tigger. But now Jim Cummings comes in and he does both characters to a T, kind of like I do both characters for, and have done Scooby and Shaggy over the years, both characters. So, and Scrappy-Doo and the monsters. So, but I think it's really important that you have to keep, Disney will bring somebody in and they don't want to know who it is. They literally put you in the booth and they listen. And they'll look at each other and go, yeah, that's dead on, man. That's dead on. And it's like when Adam Sandler couldn't, when he refused to do the Count Dracula, Hotel Transylvania. There was some kid on the internet that literally did the Dracula to a T. So he got the job, and they didn't even know who this kid was. They're like, "Oh my God, he sounds just like Adam Sandler," and he did. You can't even tell it's not Adam Sandler. To answer your question in the long form, yes, it is very important to me to keep those characters ringing true. And so I believe that Shaggy's got to sound like Shaggy. Scooby-Doo's got to sound like Scooby. And that's just the end of the story,
Going through your resume here, I mean, it seems like there's no job that you haven't gotten. Is there somebody that you do that you didn't get the job that you're pretty bummed about?
Yeah, I not too long ago, they did a big casting call for a new Tony the Tiger. And my agent called me and said, now, look, here's what they're wanting. They're going to do a campaign with schools. A lot of the schools' sports programs are starting to, fade out. And he goes, they're doing a big campaign, a big TV about support your local schools. And then they're going to end up giving a lot of money off this campaign to certain schools. And I was like, oh, cool. And so he goes, they want Tony the Tiger, they want that sound, but they want it to be a little more human, just a little more. And man, I'm telling you, I nailed that sucker. I got it down. I'm going to brag on myself, man. I'm telling you, it got down. Literally, you talk about hundreds of people that auditioned for it. They had hundreds of people, and it got down to me and some other guy. I don't know who it was, but it was like, hey kids, Tony Tiger here. They're great. And, we got that down, and my agent called me and he goes, dude, you got this. I mean, they love you. I mean, I've been talking to them. They love you. And he goes, and he says, I don't get your hopes up, but it's down to just you and another guy. And he goes, dude, there's just no comparison. I mean, we're listening to this other guy and you're it, dude. You're it. So I'm thinking, oh my God, Tony freaking Tiger. That's just huge, And, yeah, I didn't hear from my agent for a couple of weeks. I called him. I said, so I guess it's safe to say that we're not doing Tony the Tiger. And he goes, yeah, I think the guy that got it was a relative of the casting deal. And I'm like, one of those. And I heard it. I mean, I'm telling you, I was watching TV one night and it popped on. And I sat there and my wife knew, I was pretty bummed. So she was listening and she just looked at me and she said, wow. She says, I couldn't even tell that was Tony the Tiger at all. I mean, so yeah, it is what it is, but I thought I should have had that, but that was one I kind of got a little bummed on, but hey, you know what? It happens, one door closes, another door opens. I mean, I'm, ended up being, in the Iron Claw doing the announcer. My agent called me and said, hey, they want you to, why don't you go read for the Iron Claw? I said, they're not going to hire me. They're going to have some guy from L.A. do that because, I'm in Baton Rouge. They filmed the movie in Baton Rouge. And I said, I bet they've already got their guy picked out. She says, will you shut up and just go lay the voices down and send it to me? So I did. I did one take. In fact, I was so sure I wasn't going to get the part, I literally did one take. Ladies and gentlemen, from Denton, Texas, weighing in at 275 pounds, Kevin Vaughn, Erich. And I said, send that off. Oh, don't you want to do another take? Nope, I don't. Send it. And I sent it, and before I could get, I went to New Orleans to cut it. And before I got back to Baton Rouge, my agent already had called me and said, "No, they want you. You're in."
Good Lord.
So I'm like, "Wow." Yeah, I'm like, "Dang, that was fast."
And I saw on your social media last night, I think they win a Golden Globe?
Yeah, well, they won a Golden Globe. Wright won an award for the Bear, the TV show The Bear.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So I don't think the Iron Claw is eligible. Well, it may be because they released it before the December. So, I mean, right around early December. So I think the cutoff's like December 25th for nominations for Academy Awards. So I don't know. I think Zac Efron did an amazing job, and I think I hope he gets nominated for an Academy Award, Best Acting on it. But you never know. Hollywood is so political now. It's not about who you know. I'll leave that alone.
It's who your cousin's with, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
And I haven't seen it yet, but I know it's been getting rave reviews. It's obviously, I mean, you kind of mentioned the St. Louis connection with wrestling and even the wrestling circuits and especially during that time. So I've heard that it's a great movie.
Yeah, St. Louis was the Kiel Auditorium back in the day, and the Checker Dome. They had wrestling there all the time, and the Von Erichs were either loved or hated in St. Louis.
Yeah, depending on the time, right?
Yep, exactly.
Well, Scott, we appreciate it, man. We are going to catch you this weekend at the ToyMan show, January 14th at the Machinist Hall in St. Louis, 12365 St. Charles Rock Road in Bridgeton, Missouri. Really appreciate your time today. Thanks for everything that you do for Scooby and the franchise, and we enjoyed talking today, man.
Well, thank you very much. And everybody, if you want to check out some of my paintings, I'm actually painting right now a Scooby picture that I'm going to bring up to St. Louis. But they can check me out at onescottshop.com. That's ONE. That's OneScott, SCOTT shop.com. And they can check me out. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, man. You guys be good.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We got some work to do now. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We need some help from you now. Come on, Scooby-Doo, I see you, pretending you got a sliver. You're not fooling me, 'cause I can see the way you shake and shiver. You know we got a mystery to solve, so Scooby-Doo, be ready for your act. Don't hold